Muy buenas noches, Spy. Gracias por estar en el canal. Bienvenido. Quisiera yo hacerle esta pregunta que muchos de las personas que están iniciando en el cine para adultos quieren saber. ¿Cómo usted ha podido registrar su marca y cómo es la esencia de ella para que se mantenga más de 10 años?
This is a good question from Jhon. First, welcome to the show. And Spy, I will try to understand the question because the translation, but how do you manage to like not persevere but stay strong with your brand? What is the essence, man? Because it's more than 10 years in this industry, having like your own vision, your own way to do it. So tell us also for the people, because I don't know if you know, this channel is crazy. There are interviews that got few views, but the interviews that has something to do with the adult film industry, man, a lot of views. So we know that a lot of people that want to learn about the industry want to know about the big ones.
Right.
So tell us.
Well, my porn career is actually probably my third career. So I used a lot of the business background I had from real estate and running an energy consulting business and startup company consulting so we're just doing it for ourselves now. And that the drive comes from setting goals and working towards achieving them. Basically, future planning your life. You visualize where you want to be, and your body will adapt to go there. There's a saying that your past thoughts determine your present thoughts determine your future. So I try not to be bogged down by my past and spend more time thinking about where I want to be.
Es la tercera carrera que él tiene. Y él tiene una especie de frase que es como que uno no puede dejarse determinar por las cosas del pasado, sino estar pendiente como de una meta. La cuestión es que él se trazó esa meta. En sus pasados trabajos hizo muchas cosas que tienen que ver con negocios, con inversiones. Entonces créeme que lo que estás viendo ahora es una meta que él tenía trazado y también cómo ajustar el cuerpo, la mente en torno a esa meta. ¿Qué opinas de ese respecto?
Excelente. Además, hay algo interesante porque en Jatenjor Photography, que es una marca ya registrada referente en el tema de la estética, mayormente yo veo que en los videos es como son fines de semana entre chicos, pasarla bien y todo. Entonces, ¿cómo es mantener esa estética referente a ver como una imagen, fotografía, ya sea de alguien tejano, de alguien de tal sitio? O sea, ¿cómo hace para mantener esos lugares que diga, mire, son chicos pasándola bien, son chicos que disfrutan, así?
Y obviamente yo le conté cómo este tipo de entrevistas gustan a los fans. Okay, I was talking to Jhon because the next question is about Jatenjor photography. Every picture, every word that this brand does got something to do like people having a good time. But the question from Jhon is kind of crazy. How do you manage, like, okay, we know that a lot of actresses come from different parts. I don't know, maybe the South, maybe, yes. In fact, he was writing, how do you keep a classic version of the Americana, of this vibe of the United States? I hope you understand me, because it's a crazy question, but I think you got it.
I try to take the picture of what I see, of what I have in my head, and so the photographs and for sure the videos are getting there. I'm a perfectionist, but I started taking pictures professionally in 2010, so really kind of late in my life, and I didn't really start. I had some good teachers, Howard Austin Feld and Tom Mays, and from there I was able to try to get the look that I wanted to get. I really appreciate beautifully done things. The aesthetic of what I do is important to me. We don't. I want the girls and to look as beautiful as possible while they're having sex. I also want to be laughing and making jokes because that's really good sex. There's a lot of laughing going on. It's not all serious and passionate like Showtime. There's funny things happening, and you're having a good time because you're having fun. I mean, God gave us the gift of sex. It's a gift to use it. So I try to balance the both of those things. Not get hung up on too many little things, but make sure overall everybody has a great time on our set, and hopefully the people watching it can see that we're having a good time.
I'm happy that I managed to do that question, and that was an excellent answer. Jhon, qué respuestota. Solo te lo diré. Son 10 años. En el 2010 él empezó a tomar clases de fotografía y después te vas a dar cuenta de los docentes que el tío tuvo.
Good job, man. Además,
thank you.
Hay algo interesante porque aparte de que el tema de la historia, van combinadas con cierto aspecto, jóvenes, talentos, adultos ya maduros, pero hay algo interesante. ¿Cómo ha podido evolucionar Sophie Marie referente a lo que es distintos actores, talentos? ¿Cómo usted ha podido, por ejemplo, dirigir las historias, poder crearlas y que ella siempre mantenga esa esencia? O sea, no cambie de pronto su modo de, por ejemplo, del personaje, todo.
La intentaré llevar con lo que él dijo antes. Okay, this question got something more to do in depth with the things that you were telling us about. Yeah, you're a perfectionist, you create this story. But it's crazy because it's a lot of years, it's a lot of jokes, and somehow I know that the people that enjoy it keep watching it because, oh yeah, I know there are many years, many histories, many actors, many actresses, but somehow the vibe is still going on. He's talking about Sophie Marie. So yes, tell us whether you want about how's the process of creating the histories, keeping the vibe.
Sophie started off bikini modeling, and that's when I started shooting her, and we just have a good rapport. And she's hilarious, and she's pretty shy in person, right? So everybody thinks, oh, she's this tall, beautiful girl. She must be a real bitch, but she's just the opposite. She's just funny, and she's more like a guy than a girl in her attitudes. So I try to put her in situations where she can use that humor and that her good spirit and have it come through because she's just as nice as could be. The journey is really just trying to keep that, that's kind of her brand. And my job is shooting her is to make sure that comes out in her work. If she works for somebody else, they may want her to do certain things, but she's a good actress and she could turn it on. And she's, what we're really trying to do is make sure that we come up with some crazy storylines. A lot of the taboo stuff, the family stuff. I had teenage boys and I had my second wife was their stepmother and she was hot. So I have all sorts of stories that are situations that we draw from to bring in because at the time they were funny. They got to be funny for everybody else. And I still have more. And my kids know what we do and they don't know I'm making fun of them because hopefully they're not watching it. But so if you ever spilled lotion on the leather couch and didn't tell your parents about it, but they figured it out, that's a story that might end up in a movie someday.
I will translate everything. Jhon, solo lo hice en la manera. Yes. No, Jhon needs to know. Jhon, solo resumir en esto, ¿no? Obviamente, ¿no? Que Sophie es muy buena actriz porque ella en realidad es ruda en la vida real. No es la mujer que se ve ahí. Obviamente él como director hace su trabajo, pero él lo puso en esta manera, ¿no? Porque él tiene sus hijos.
Sí.
Él dice, pues él maneja los tabús y dice, como padre me entero que mis hijos usaron loción y no me dicen, pero me entero que lo usaron, eso va a terminar en mis historias. Por eso me reí. I told the
Aunque antes de hacer la pregunta, ¿es posible que Sophie Marie esté acá en el canal?
y le digo que acá estuvo alguien que trabajó con ella, ¿o no?
Sí, sí, claro.
Okay, before Jhon do the question, it's great that you mentioned Sophie Murray. In fact, he worked with the people that we interview with, but that is Showdown. It is possible that she may be here because we got amazing names, women, men here in the channel. Is this possible?
She's not around now, but I'm sure she'd be happy to do this with you. And her, my Spanish here got messed up on my Italian in college, and now I don't speak anything. None of the Romance language as well. I think I can order a taxi and probably a beer. So, but I should be much better at it. So, but I appreciate the translation.
Okay, Jhon, probablemente.
Bueno, también hay el tema que siempre pues hemos querido saber. Jatenjor también se trata de, en la historia, mostrar el fetiche. Eso es algo muy característico. Hay métodos que lo utilizan, por ejemplo, Pythonar, el Anime, otras modelos. Pero, aparte de, por ejemplo, descubrir los fetiches, ¿cómo han podido de pronto introducirla a las historias que de pronto ven historias, no sé, turbias o algo y digan, mire, esta persona tiene este fetiche y lo vamos a hacer? O ya es algo que ya siempre se han implementado y digan, mire, esto es así y ya.
Okay, this has something to do with the last answer because you told that everything taboo can be part of your history. Probably will enter to the scripts that you made. But how this happened? Like you got all planet, like not planet in the sense that these are the fetish about society. So okay, I will do something about this fetish, or I don't know. You read somebody tell you this, and write down because it's crazy. No, sometimes like Jhon and myself, we are journalists, and sometimes people tell his histories, his fetish, without even knowing how do I end up knowing that people? How is it? What is the process?
Well, from the taboo stuff, we just think of how creepy can it be? It seems like the fans, a lot of them are embarrassed about the fantasies that they do have, right? They feel shame. And so if we can show that it happens on a screen and people are happy doing it, they feel less shame. And it may not be as extreme as what we're portraying. Well, I'm not that bad. I mean, Sophie had sex with her stepson. Whoa. That's not. I just thought about having sex with my aunt. So I think in some ways it's reassuring mentally, but the more, literally, the creepier, the more taboo it is, the more people like it, the more fans buy it, and that's how we really judge if people liked our stuff if they're buying it. And one of her most popular scenes Sophie did was her gangbang. And she did 30 guys and, 2 hours. Sorry, I'm moving around here. And people wanted to see her do it. I mean, that's not a normal thing for anybody to do. It was an extreme thing. So that's kind of my point, right? The more you can push the boundaries of what consenting adults will do, I think that for a lot of people that are enjoying your work, they're enjoying what you're doing for them. And my experience is when guys look at porn on the internet, they may start off a girl, but they might end up in a BDSM dungeon somewhere, right? You just don't know where you're going to end up when you're clicking around, right? So my goal is to be in one of the places they end up. I'll stop here. So, and it seems to be working for us. So,
as the Joe says, we start in the lean one, but you know that the time passes and somehow we ended on lean 300 looking for the other stuff because we don't want it. Yes, and I was saying, like the old Tolkien said, we start in the lean one, but somehow we ended on the lean 300 looking for the stuff. You don't want to see the lean one. Yeah. Jhon,
that's
así.
And I've heard anecdotally, it's 30 guys will look at porn for 30 minutes and they'll only watch it for 5. So they'll do all their foreplay and sniffing around on the internet so that they find what they want, and then they'll take their break and fill up their sock or their Kleenex or whatever they're using.
John, todo se resume en esto. Porque tú sabes que muy bien la escena más famosa de Sophie es el gambán, ¿cierto? Tú lo sabes.
Yes.
Y que es algo pedido por los fans, que él, o sea, me refiero, que él a veces queda así con las cosas que piden los fans, entonces se resume en este chiste viejo. Tú empezarás en el Lean 1, pero cuando ya vas en el Lean 300 o 30, tú en realidad no quieres ver lo que está en el Lean 1. Y dijo otra cosa, pues, que generalmente de lo que se ve, la gente solo ve 5 minutos, porque en realidad la gente se aburre de lo que ven en lo normal, por eso buscan las historias de él, para ver todo.
Excelente, buen punto, good point. Además, dos últimas preguntas. Primero, hacerle pues hincapié de que ellos han podido viajar a distintos premios, los envíen, todo eso. ¿Hay alguna historia que quieran reflejar referente a su compañía, Jhon? ¿A qué historia desean apostarle? Y sobre todo, si de pronto quieren fusionar de pronto cine para adultos también de pronto con el tema de otras estrellas, de pronto Johnny Sins u otro actor. ¿Qué nos dice?
He got 2 questions. Let's start with the first one. Because, we know that the company has been nominated for a lot of awards, a lot of prizes. So it's somehow, I don't know, had you pictured to somebody doing a movie about you, about the company? And the other question, I found it interesting. If you had done it, correctus, but if you don't, do you imagine like mixing, like doing like a movie with another company, mixing styles, the style of your company with the style of the other person, maybe like a pair war?
But we're humble enough to say, I don't know if there's a movie there or not, but we've co-produced a documentary on basically how women got into porn, and it's my director partner is working on trying to sell that right now, but it's called Behind the Scenes. And so we interviewed like Allura Jensen and Kiki Dare and Sophie, Jessica, my brain's going to fry out, Sylvia Saint, a few others, and say, how'd you get in? What people want to know why you got into porn. It's not always the sob story you hear on TV. Most people that we know that are in porn, it's a business. And they want to run it as a business. And it's a business they get to be their own boss. And it's a business they get to have fun doing what they want to do. So it's not, we're in our part of the business, in the mainstream part, it's not exploitive at all. It's very safe for everybody involved. Everybody's got, minds are attitudes and takes care of everybody and tries to make sure everybody's having a good time. So we don't run into some of the darker sides of the industry. So we're just trying to, have fun and have a good time and make people happy. That's our overriding goal. And obviously we like to make enough money so that we can, live the way we want to live and retire the way we want to retire. So, but
that's the reason why I'm happy that Jhon started doing these interviews, because in Latin America the case is different. The media always showcase the dark side, but it's mostly because some companies in Latin America they don't do it in the right way. So I know that these interviews have showcased that no, this is a real job, like any other kind of work in the film industry, because this is a way. So man, what a great answer. And
I think if I could understand, if I could just interrupt you on that point, because I think you're onto something that's correct, and that is the industry isn't like regular industry because the power structure is different. The big studios make the big movies, right? There's a barrier to entry. Not just anybody can do it. It's really hard as an indie filmmaker to do anything commercial. But in adult, there's a lot more avenues to have your creative product get to the fans because the fan base is there for it. You don't have to go find your fan base for your indie film. You can take your fan base is there and you get feedback. So from a creativity standpoint, it feels really good to do what we're doing because you get feedback. People send you money. If they like it, they send you compliments if they like it, and they tell you if they don't like it, you fix it and do it a different way the next time, right? So the feedback's good. But from an individual standpoint, anybody with a cell phone now can make content. So it's super, super democratized, which is probably why governments don't want it because they don't want the little people being able to make money without, asking them for help. But at the moment, it's not the Wild West at all, but it's certainly a place where entrepreneurs can be free to build a business.
Excellent, Jhon.
The credit card companies are trying to take that all away from us, but
Esto fue increíble. ¿Qué quieres saber tú más?
Por último, la última pregunta es, ¿cómo define su trabajo en una palabra? Eso sería.
Okay. As the final and before, of course, we take the picture and everything. Try to define your work in one word.
Our work. I don't know that I could do that. I would say aesthetic or passionate. Probably more passionate. So the motto that we use for Yummy Girl is where girls come first, which is obviously a sexual message, but it's also about the fact that we know customers are watching the women. They're not watching the guys. I mean, we could all be headless and shoulderless and everybody would be fine with that. No one's looking at us, right? So if the girls are having a good time in the film and it's legitimate and it's authentic, everybody's happy. The guy's going to be happy because the girl's having a good time, right? Most guys like that, right? Most normal guys like that, or all normal guys do. They want to know that they're pleasing the woman. So if the woman's pleased, he's going to be pleased with himself, and then everybody's happy. It's the same way you need to run a marriage. Keep your wife happy, and you'll be happy.
All America, North America, South America. Major women happy. Jhon, increíble.
Bravo.
Bravo.
Spike. Ven, este es tu espacio, tus redes sociales, un saludo para Colombia, Latinoamérica. La cámara es tuya.
Spike, the camera is yours. Send a hi to wherever you want, to the channel, to Colombia, to South America. Tell your social media so people can follow, and of course, the links from your network. Go ahead.
I hope you guys will keep watching our network grow. Yummy Girl also helps sell other content creators who are in the same vein as we are. And what we're doing is ethical. It's pro women. It's pro sex. It's pro fun. So what I want everybody to know is that everybody who's in our videos had a great time, and it was real and it was fun, and we all laughed. We rarely do anything where people cry. That's sad. But we're social media, Twitter, Spike Irons, XXX. Sophie Marie's is Wicked Yummy 1 and on Twitter. And then there's quite a few Yummy Girl studios and some other ones. And yummygirl.com is our network. We did one of our first feature movie we did down in Panama, as a matter of fact. We had a producer who wanted us to film. So he flew us down and we filmed in down in and around that area and just had a ball. It was just a fun weekend, right? It was a nice trip. The Latin American people are wonderful. So but I know the laws are difficult down there to do some of the things that like we do. So it's challenging. But I do think that, you know, being consumers of porn, hopefully you guys like what we produce. So hopefully there's not too much of a language barrier since we don't translate.
It's okay because this channel, the first time that Jhon created the channel, I translate everything, but we saw that the people that watch it are not for our continent. So now, if you wanna know it in Spanish, put on the subtitles. No, and a lot of people in this channel. Jhon, la foto.
There's one more thing I want to share. So when I was a little boy, 13, I was an adolescent. I was given Playboy magazines by my parents, so they wanted to know what I was looking at. They knew I was going to be a boy and I was going to look at porn, so they wanted to make sure that they at least approved of it. So I had all these Playboys as kids, and the Hugh Hefner philosophy, Playboy philosophy, is really where my philosophy came from, of life and relationships. And there's a lot more stuff to go into about that in another time. But my 13-year-old self had a big win. I told you earlier, I believe in goal setting. So Sophie Marie became a Playmate last year. Victoria de Zarac, who was a Penthouse Pet of the Year and a Playmate of the Year, joined our network, and I was her first boy girl. So my 13-year-old self got to sleep with a Playmate, got to sleep with a Penthouse Pet of the Year. And then my photography was in Playboy with Sophie. So so it's one of those things you just say when you're a little kid, that would be great if, right? Well, my little kid's dream came true. So 2022 was a good year for that.
Marie fue la Playmate del año pasado y él dice que él hizo feliz al niño de 13 años que veía revistas Playboy. Tú sabes muy bien que él apareció en Playboy el año pasado.
Exacto. No, man, muchísimas gracias por la oportunidad. Es un honor, un placer. God bless you.
No, man, thank you.
Thank you very much. Muchas gracias.
Muchas gracias. Salud.
Salud. Bye bye.
Salud. Bye.